I have a Twitter now, so if you want previews of collaborative warfare or you just want to stalk me, go check it out. Hello Penguin, all time, the Video Penguin, and welcome to War Thunder. Now I know I don't make videos on this game particularly often, but I do play it rather a lot, and there's this one question that I see really often, and looking through YouTube, nobody has really answered it properly. Now, and that's how do I get kills? Now, a lot of the time people see YouTubers and stuff just racking up the kills in arcade mode. For example, this is arcade that you see here, just to demonstrate what I'm saying. And they just say, why can't I get kills? And a lot of YouTubers seem to assume it's just because they're noobs or something, or that they can't hit planes, but they don't seem to realise it's people hit planes a lot, but they just don't do any damage. And I can seriously relate to this until well, a little while back when I started actually getting relatively decent at War Thunder. Now, and that's what I'm going to answer today, is mainly how you can be chasing a target for like half an hour, unloading like tons and tons of bullets into them, but not get a kill, and someone else can fly along and just one-shot you, or you can, like, they can one-shot your target, kill steal, etc. Now, the main one is cannons, okay? So you're probably rocking some 7 to 8mm machine guns if you can't get kills. And once you get into, especially tier 3, but I think you start getting them in tier 2. So I think in the British, the first one that really has them is a Spitfire Mark 2B, and that's some good 20mm cannons. Now, they make the biggest difference ever, okay? Cannons do way more damage than the 7 to 8mm machine guns. Cannons are just vital for getting kills in arcade and not historical, it's realistic now, isn't it? It's been realistic for a really long time. I just keep saying historical just because of old habits. But that is the main one, cannons. You just need cannons, and so until you get to like tier 2, you are going to have to try and slum it out. But also, once you have cannons, it also depends on what kind of ammunition you have, and you can also get kills using machine guns if you do have the correct kind of ammunition for your target. Now, if you are going for plane targets, usually when you have a machine gun, you don't have the air targets ammunition belt. Now, for the cannons, you can usually have air targets, so obviously if you're going for air targets, you use air targets. Now, some people like to use stealth because they don't need tracers. I tend to use tracers in my machine guns, but I don't use them in my cannons, so that means the machine guns, which you usually have a hell of a lot more ammo for, I can line up the shot using that when I'm in realistic and not in arcade, and then once I've lined that up, then I fire my cannons, and then I can shred the target to pieces. Now, whatever you do, don't use the default ammo racks. They do the job, but they're really not particularly good. They're filled with practice shells and stuff, which is just not what you want. You need some serious incendiary, you need some high explosive, and you need a little bit of armor piercing. It kind of depends what kind of nation you're going up against. If you're going up against the Ruskies, I've seen some people use ground target ammo. I wouldn't really recommend that though, because ground target ammo, it's full of armor piercing, which just goes straight through the plane and doesn't actually do any damage. I mean, it does a lot of damage to engines, but other than that, if you're going for kills, you want to be aiming for people's wings, and you really, really do want incendiary ammo or high explosive ammo for that, because it does a lot of damage as it passes through, and you've got a high chance that you're going to set fire to them. And once you've set fire to them, down they go. So, ammo, that is the second most important thing. So the first thing is cannons, second thing is the type of ammunition you are using. Now, third one, actually this could probably be number one really, pick your targets correctly. Okay, if you're in a Spitfire, don't go after a B-25, okay? Pick your targets well. Now, if you are using, you know, air target ammo and you're using incendiary ammo or whatever, go after small fighters. There's no shame in just picking on people in worse planes than you or in smaller planes. I tend to not, even though Yaks, they're quite small, they can take a hell of a beating. Most of the Russian planes can take quite a lot of a beating, so I don't tend to go for them. Usually, whatever you do, don't just dive straight into battle. Climb at the beginning of the map. Beginning of the match. Just climb at the beginning and pick your target. And then once you have your target, don't go into a head-on. Make sure you get some serious altitude above them and then dive down behind them and take them down. and there you go, and then you get kills, essentially. And just pick your targets correctly. You need to know what kind of plane you're going after. Most of the time, if you're in a simple fighter aircraft, you don't even want to go after like PE2s or anything. You just want to be going after the light fighter aircraft that are easy kills. And usually you need to know what aircraft you're shooting down, so you do need a bit of experience on that front. But yeah, just know your targets. And here's something: don't go into head-ons. Just try and avoid head-ons at all costs. Now, sometimes it is inevitable. Like, I think here I'm going into a couple of head-ons here. I might be wrong. Now, sometimes it really is inevitable that you get into a head-on with somebody. But most of the time, just try and climb at the beginning of a match. And, yeah, I don't go into a head-on here. Just try and climb and then dive down. Whatever you do, always climb. Always climb. Altitude is always an advantage. If you go into a head-on, you got like a 50-50 chance of surviving it if they don't ram into you, and a lot of the time noobs will just ram into you, let's be honest. Or sometimes you just lose control of your plane and you ram into them. It's just everybody loses in head-ons, okay? And yet again, know your target. Like, maybe you can go into a head-on. Say you're in a Spitfire, you can go into a head-on with another Spitfire or a Hurricane or something. Don't go into a head-on with a Beaufighter, because as a Spitfire, the Beaufighter, you can outturn it easily, but it's just, when it comes to firepower, it is just going to shred you to pieces, okay? Especially if it's a Beaufighter Mark 21 or something. You're just going to get shredded. Don't go into a head-on. Try and maybe just pull down, because at the last moment, you know, and then they can't follow you in time. Now, here I'm going to a series of head-ons here, just because I headed into a massive sequence of enemies, as you see. But they're mostly my class of plane, but I did take a lot of damage. But I also did a lot of damage myself and got a couple of kills. But yeah, it was inevitable there, because I was just surrounded by enemies. I thought, okay, how many can I take down with me? So obviously I did go down there, because I was a little out of my depth and I got separated from my teammates. As I said, so head-ons are inevitable essentially, but just know your targets is the main thing. And aim for the wings. Now, this is another one. A lot of people just aim for the center of the, say, of the leading target reticule in arcade and stuff. Don't. Just don't. That's simply put, because if you aim for the central fuselage of the plane, most of the time that's what's going to absorb the most damage. Try and, you know, don't always aim for the same part of the plane. If you're not doing damage, then if you haven't taken it down in a couple of hits, then aim for a different part. Always aim for the wings is what I say, unless you're trying to take out their engines and you've got like armor piercing ammunition or something. Just aim for the wings. So just move your aim side to side, you know, just try and get it. Because if you get a solid hit on the wings with some cannon ammo or just incendiary ammo or high explosive ammo, it'll be ripped straight off, and that is an instant kill, okay? And so just always aim for the wings, unless they're larger aircraft. If they're smaller aircraft, wings come off like tissue paper. And those are basically just the main things. It's just a few simple tips, and this is the main reason I'm making this video. I mean, I'm no pro at War Thunder. It's just nobody really seems to have answered this question. So many people are not bad players at the game. They're perfectly okay aiming and flying and everything. They just shoot for hours at a target. They can't understand why they're not getting kills, and you just need to tell people these are the reasons why. And War Thunder, yes, they give you great tutorials when it comes to shooting and flying and stuff, but they don't give you great tutorials when it comes to actually getting kills. So there we go. That's. I hope this video was helpful. As I said, I'm no professional at War Thunder, but I just felt that this video did need to be made, because I know a lot of you're not new players, and you play the game, maybe play the game a lot, and you just can't get kills for some reason. And here you go. This is hopefully helped you see why you can't get them. Thank you for watching, everyone. I've been the Beardy Penguin, and check out my Twitter. I got a Twitter now. I know, just a little plug, but there you go.